So, what is your opinion on the Darwinist evolution theory? Does it challenge the religious narrative?
No, no, Darwin was a very honest scientist. He has been in the jungles. I can't imagine the way he was, I must say. He worked, he very industriously, he came to the result. And the result was very simple. I must say, it's known to be a theory of species, how the species were together, how they were separated, how man evoluted. And there's nothing against religion in it, because like some people, as they know, man was created, was a special creation, was thrown from the skies to the earth, and Darwinian concept is proving that no, man was not thrown from high ups, but he was born here, he was created here. In fact, both the scientists and the religious people, they show a little ignorance about the Quran. In Quran, Allah says, I have, like nabatat, like you see, the biological things, I have created man out of the earth. And again, he says, I have thrown him from up there. He also says, yes, in one of the verse, Quran says, "Kul nahabatu ba'dukum li ba'din udu walakum fil arzi mustaqarun wa mata'un ilahin." Get down, and there you have a small space and some time to spend, and it's for your benefit. The only difference is we are so very adamant. On one side, we are adamant no man was not created on earth like animals, and on the other side, we say it's been thrown on earth by God. Scientists say there is no truth in, you see, God throwing man on earth, and that it was a pure evolution. In the origin of species, perhaps Darwin was very truly pointing out, and the entire thesis of Darwin is summed up in one ayat of Quran. And in that one ayat of Quran, he says, "Ma min dabbatin fil ard wa tayrin yatayri bajanaha illa umamam amsaluk." There is no living being on earth, and there is no bird in the air who is not born and who does not have a species like you. So he's making it very clear that everything born on earth and in the air are like species like you. So their development is very natural. But what happens when we start realizing man thinks and they don't think? In billions of years, a zebra has not changed a line. In billions of years, nothing has come, no changes come into animal livings. Why don't we believe that? How is it that in 2 or 6 5 billion years of world's age, no other animal has gone to thinking like Homo sapiens? We are called Homo sapiens. Why another species has not turned out to be Homo sapien? Thinking humans, why not thinking? The difference is very simple. Like you say, Bill Doran, like Shaykh Mahyuddin Ibn Arabi, they say, yes, body was evoluted right on the earth. Like animals, we were progressive, you see, evolution on earth. But still we were void of that particular wisdom, mind and spirit. And that spirit has dawned, you see. Let me tell you one simple thing, you will understand it very easily. Adam in heavens was not a physical structure. They were very pure, purified things. They were spiritual factors. Just like some people think jinn, it was a kind of a transformer over there. He could move around. There was no physical stature with him. He had a shape, he had a figure, he had all the kinds of, you see, emotions which people have, but he did not have the same physical desires as man has. So God punished him for one mistake of his. He ate the fruit of forbidden tree, as John Milton says, whose mortal taste brought death unto the world and all our woes, as John Milton says. He ate something which created physicalities in him, something which made him a more sensitive, more sexual, sensual man. He couldn't stay in those purified species up there. There are species up there also. Angels are a species, robotic creations, and jinns are a species, and we were also a superior most species. And we could not exist there because over there was no toilets, frankly telling you. There were no sexual matings like ours, so we couldn't stay there. So he said, "Kul nahbatu ba'dukum li ba'din udu wa lakum fil ardi mustaqarrun wa mata'un ila." Get down. But if a spirit comes down, where would it stay? Can you imagine? Where would it stay? It needed a structure and a body to settle down in it.
So you agree that we evolved from...
We evolved physically from on this earth, and then the spirit came, and the dichotomous human beings, a spirit and the physics, they were united together. That's why Allah suggests in the Quran. Okay, first you were born out of a single cell. Allah says you were born out of a single cell. You were promoted as human beings. Then in the last stage, I gave you wisdom, knowledge. I gave you spirit, and the spirit came from the upside. Even now the Muslims have a very firm faith. Till 3 months, only body is there of a child. And after 120 days, the spirit comes and settles down in the body. अब भी हम उसी तरह हैं, even now.
So sir, you actually agree that we evolved and there is no problem with the evolution theory and the Quranic narrative?
I don't have to confirm the evolution theory. This is what Quran tells me. I don't have to agree with Darwin. The poor self was a good scientist. He worked very hard and he proved that man is species, man is born out of the earth, man has done this. Yes, our physical body, as the Quran says, I gave you birth from the earth. It's very simple. I don't have to believe in Darwin to go to twist the ayat of Quran, you see. It's very, very simple. And he says, then I threw you down, me who's a thinking man, and suddenly, Will Dora says, the man lay there over for about 50,000 years. Then a single splash, a heavy electronic charge came and fell on him, and he was thinking. Our brain quantity increased. On earth, no animal, there is no change in animal. Their brain quantity is the same as it began. A chimpanzee is the closest to us, with 350 cc. But we are different. Our brain quantity is double, treble of the animals. Now this is not possible. There is no such proof that any animal had a greater brain, had a different brain, had a changed brain. So naturally something happened to him. And this is how it happened. Man was up there and a prototype of a man, a spiritual man. As I told you, unluckily there were no toilets up there. When he ate the fruit, he found himself stuck up over there. He didn't know what to do. So he was ignorant of sex before as a spiritual being, and suddenly he found sex in him. So maybe they mated over there. They had no options. Now, at that particular status of life, in that particular space, there was no such chance of such earthly, human, mundane habits. So he was thrown down. Once he was thrown down, where would he go? Next question, where would he go? So God was wise enough. He is the maximum knowledge. He had already created a body for him. And both the spiritual and the physical joined together, we still inherit the same, the physical and the spiritual. Even today, spirit wants to go to God, and even today, the physical is also looking for the same toiletries. So this is the difference. So there is no such difference. I mean, we are not. No science is against God, and science is also a creativity given to man for understanding his own ability. So all scientists are just trying to prove what God has already done and said. Maybe the investor, some scientist becomes intoxicated. Maybe some scientist feels, oh my God, I've been able to create this and discover this. They only discover. They don't create anything. So they could be proud, and out of their own egocentric attitude, they might say, we are gods. But they are as foolish as anybody else, I must say. Because just discovering one gene, just discovering, you see, one cell, doesn't mean that he also knows he's creator of all this cellular life, or all the genetic engineering, or all this cosmos. So they don't prove anything. A fraction of an understanding does not take over the total understanding.